Hello and welcome to the second video on life and culture of Y-3579203181277, aka Earth. That's what I'll be using in this video. If you didn't watch the last one, this one will be going over the Lunarians. And this book is basically an encyclopedia written by a third party in the series. So that's pretty interesting, and the lore is great. So I'll be reading directly from the wiki. The wiki is not an official translation by any means, so it might have, I don't know. But yeah, I'll be reading from the wiki, and then I'll just be giving my thoughts after I read from it. So here is chapter 2 on the Lunarians, and it says, chapter 2, Earth. Yeah, Earth. The satellites. So the other one was talking about the area, this one's talking about the satellites. Earth has 6 satellites, the largest satellite being Earth A, then in a decreasing order estimated volume, Earth A1, Earth A2, Earth A3, Earth A4, Earth A5. So it shows that the decreasing volume. So the Earth A5 is the smallest. Earth A is the main inhabited satellite, although it was predicted that it might be inhabited. The observation was intentionally blocked, and our technology could not detect more than the outline of the satellite in its existence. We were reduced to guessing from the gem's actions and casualties with the aim of ecological preservation. Interactions with the target have been prohibited. In the scenario that the civilization might be less advanced than ours, we obtained special permission to open a line of communication with them, as it will have the least impact on the subjects. However, if we have a civilization that is more advanced than ours, we will have a special permission to ask some questions, saying that they will have less impact on the subject. After a long time of being unable to indicate contact, we were fortunate enough to get answers to several questions, and some of their unique ecology was discovered. There are the gems call that they are, as the gems call them, a race calling themselves Lunarians, forming a highly developed society. We will interact with their answers through our observations and research and speculations derived from them. Through information material were attached to the answer we received. It was only possible to browse directly, and the recognition was sparse by viewers, and it was not possible to copy it on any medium. The illustrations were recreated from it with average interpretations from viewers to reach the same level of quality as other chapters. So what it's saying is that I think it's saying that they were able to interview some Lunarians, and then they weren't able to do that with the gems. So the gem chapter is still a lot more speculation, and they didn't talk to anyone. The Lunarian chapter has some. So I translated, I think I translated most of the Lunarian section, and I just translated that as interviews because I just felt that it sounded a little weird, saying here were the answers from these people. So in my translations, when I say interviews, the actual thing they use is answers, but yeah, so here on to the Lunarians. So an intelligent here's that one. So an intelligent life form of living an intelligent form of life living in the upper city, a race that refers to itself as the soul. Their origin is unknown, but they are quite old. It is thought that they appeared from ancient creatures. Lunarians regularly visit Earth on warships. Page 42. Their goal is to extract natural ore. They have a very light body which emits a colorful light. The surface of their skin has a colorful effect, switching between 7 different colors. Their bodies are soft and they can be easily affected by impacts, but they recover easily from injury. Even though their appearance on the surface changes and they can create different physical variations, their actual nature remains the same. Lunarians are shown to be intelligent and cool. It is suggested that there is a representative with strong leadership over the Lunarians, but little concrete information on individuals has been obtained. Under rule of this leader, it is believed that the Lunarians lead a prosperous and civilized urban life. Attached is an example of an average Lunarian military uniform used when attacking Earth. They take on a special appearance, hiding the irises of their eyes and enlarging their eyes. They share physical similarities with Congo, such as their hanging robes. This suggests the gem collection has another purpose related to Congo, rather than just simply recovery of natural materials. Okay, so then we are on to Lunarians 2. So a Lunarian's normal appearance, the picture is the same individual as the previous, has antenna-like organs, depending on their individual. They are vertical ears and floppy ears, but there is no difference in their characteristics. The pupils and irises, which are hidden when in military uniform, are the same color as the body and emit light. Citizens are broadly divided into military personnel and ordinary citizens, but there is no uniformity in treatment. People can come and go as they wish. Employment in the existing occupations is free, and starting a business is possible only after passing a rigorous evaluation regarding morals and public interest. It seems that there is a more rigorous examination for development. Based on our scale, the average Lunarian citizen's lifestyle can be described as very normal and happy, based on responses, and those are in quotes. So yeah. After walking up, a Lunarian has a breakfast and starts work. They take a lunch break and resume work. Then they finish work, shop, eat, and go to bed before dinner. As a general rule, employees take 3 days off and 3 days of work. 3 days off after 3 days of work. After the city, page 72, melts, automatic cleaning will be performed at the same time. So separate cleaning is not necessary. This convenient cleaning and thawing may also be performed manually and periodically at military and government-related facilities. During the observation period, several gemstones disappeared under the leadership of the gem phosphophylite. It was announced that they have migrated to the moon on their own. They are described with the individual's name and current status in hardness. So this is the list. So right here is the list of gems and in the order of hardness and what their status is at the time of this record. So yellow diamond is under medical treatment. Diamond, that's yellow. A diamond is an active singer. Padparacha is under medical treatment. Alexandrite, restaurant worker. Goshenite, sports shop worker. Karen Gorm, laboratory worker and Lunarian representative. Or Lunarian representative partner. Amethyst is a laboratory worker. Bennetonite is a restaurant worker, and Fossilite has no description. All right, and so now it's on to the city exterior. There's that one. Here's the city exterior. So cities located anywhere on Earth's satellites, Earth's 6 satellites, usually reject our observations. This time, information on the exterior of some parts of the city was specifically disclosed. It is mainly a civilian facility area, and the only military-related facility is the landing area, A. In the foreground, it is characterized by a collective architecture that resembles the shape of a bismuth crystal. According to the data, this private facility area includes civil residences, commercial facilities, and recreational facilities. Its biggest feature is its shape and position, which change every day. That's why it was judged that there would be no problem in making it a park. Towards midnight, the area remains empty, and the Lunarians and their personal belongings sleep in a floral-scented oil. And in the morning, the residence regenerates randomly. In other words, a Lunarian will sleep on the second floor of an apartment next to the park and wake up in a one-story house with a garden overlooking the amusement park. The next day, the cafe on the hill will be the next to the pool with a rich aroma. The purpose of this system is to add variety to the people's long lives and eliminate their fatigue. It is said that 90% of the city's residents wish to live in this area. The remaining 10% are believed to be political and military personnel and are thought not to be participating in the melting city due to the confidentiality of their information. The true identity of the mineral oil-derived plastic material that supports cities and their rich urban lives can be predicted to be a mineral oil gushing out from within the moon. Based on the responses introduced in the following section, processing has been carried out to minimize the wear and tear of raw materials. achieving a 100% recycling rate and creating a completely sustaining city that can withstand almost permanent use, letting it go on. The size of the city as a whole is unknown, but it seems safe to assume that it is not that large based on the words and actions that emphasize management and maintainability. Efforts have been made to determine the age of the strata based on Earth and the satellite, and to measure the history of this society, but have not yet succeeded. Even so, it seems that a tremendous amount of time has passed since the city was completed. Here's that. And this might be where Foss first enters the moon. I'm not sure. Just because, there's the landing pad and stuff, but interesting. So next is the urban system. So here's this one, which I think is supposed to show the melting that they're going to talk about here, I believe. Which is very interesting because it's just like a casual line in the comic or manga, but it's very interesting that it's very well thought out in the lore book. So, urban system. Lunarians are living organisms that do not reproduce, each developing independently, living together and establishing communities, primarily through connections through members and interactions. The public is broadly divided into civil servants who belong to the military and ordinary citizens. But there is no difference in social treatment, and there's no fixed position. There's no ruling class or privileged class, but there are representatives of the species who are referred to as boss in the answers or interviews. It is assumed that there is no monetary system, and it appears that people can obtain almost any desired item as long as it does not violate morals. Lunarians apply for the development of items that do not exist for military personnel involved in infrastructure, work, pay. Pay is provided in the form of goods of your choice or top up and leave. Additionally, the presence of the word paid in the materials suggests that there was once a monetary system. However, as with experiments in many other star systems, money is difficult to control, and the development of an economic system based on it has been limited. With many examples of fragmentation and shortening of lifespans of the lifespan of a society itself, and that outweighs the benefits, making it difficult to weed out. Although it was later abolished, it is thought that some traces of it remain only in the language. Several responses were obtained from the city management personnel, no names listed. The history of our cities is so long and complex that our material wealth has reached its limits. The personal wealth we once held onto has no meaning anymore. Everything we need except death can be provided for. I think we can say that reducing our personal possessions is the best way to reduce mental exhaustion and feel fulfilled. Cities are built on permanence. Through recycling and the use of materials based on economic sustainability, the city's focus is on the healthy lives of its citizens. Due to their natural nature as living organisms and the completeness of the city, citizens can live without having to work or live. It is also the government's duty to maintain mental health by providing a sense of purpose in life. So that's urban life. It's interesting that in this fantasy city that everything is fully recyclable. It's just interesting how there's also an abundance of things on the Moon City, and there's a lack of abundance in the Gem Society. I just love how contrasting they are. But anyway, that's a topic for another video. Food culture. For a Lunarian after work, nothing is more fun than strolling around until the city begins to melt away. 90% of citizens eat out at least once a day, especially on days when there is a battle with the gems. The downtown area is filled with Lunarians in military uniform. The intricate dining area is lined with a variety of shops, and the lineup changes every night. Because of their longevity, they have a thickened palate and are difficult to judge the taste of. According to the data, the most popular store at the time of collection was Mememei Hanpen that's this one. A number of dishes created by new chefs with new interpretations are attracting attention, with the spicy dadan noodles and gyoza being particularly popular. The most popular item is the super hot tabloom burger. B. Where's B? This one. The specialty is the burger with 7 kinds of ingredients and the ultra fine fries. Mikage. C. C. Okay. Yeah. Which is known for the delicate sushi work, and Neon D. There's D, I think that one. Which is famous for its fruit soup curry and with a deep light flavor, have been praised by the public. There are also many cafes and sweet shops, and food seems to be one of the most interesting aspect of the culture. The further you go on from the residential area, the more bars are open until the city melts. The alcohol provided is a fulfilling reproduction of the flavor that and does not contain actual alcohol. There are also tobacco-flavored luxury products, but they only emit smoke and do not emit harmful substances. From the data, it appears that the food culture is very rich, but there is no purpose other than to enjoy aroma and texture. There is no need to consider nutritional and health aspects that living things consistently face, and all dishes and their ingredients are described as plastic substances derived from oil, just like clothing and daily necessities. Since there are restrooms, it seems that chewing is done, but it only passes through a Lunarian's body. It is expected that it will be passed through a recycling facility and used for various purposes. Okay. And then traditional food. So this one is traditional food. For Lunarians, eating is not for the purpose of energy intake, but for entertainment, where they enjoy the aroma. Among them, course meals, which are called traditional meals, are special meals for entertaining guests who enjoy unique presentations. Lunarians shared this experience of eating small amounts of food using a tray that is purposely shaped to be difficult to use and enjoys conversation. Like everyday food, all raw materials are plastic substances derived from the mineral oil, and any texture melts in the mouth, and aroma can be synthesized. We will introduce the answer from Lisage, the chef at the restaurant Rakwokuon, who prepared traditional food for the gem phospholipide, who visited the moon. A long time ago, we used to make this traditional food every day, but recently we have had few occasions to have dinner together, so I don't make it at all. However, my body remembers and loves it. It's a traditional meal that I cooked every day while maintaining the traditional nostalgic feeling. I was particular about reproducing it. Where is A? A is here. A is a prototype hamburger, and you can enjoy the flavor of warm lettuce inside. B is the prototype of sushi. The flavor of seafood is reproduced. C is the main flavor steak. Is the main flour steak, originally a home-cooked dish that pollen patty was sautéed for an hour to bring out the sweetness to maximum. 12 flavors available. 12 flavors available of your choice. D is this one. D is our signature white sand bread. E, put that one over there. E is a blue bean sorbet. This time all the drinks are old style. We have F, that one. Foam putty sake. G, this one. Star champagne. H, double water. And I, prophecy carbonated water. In addition, we have the bartenders who can mix over 20,000 flavors. This nostalgic and new dish has been fully booked for hundreds of years since Fossilite's reception. I would like everyone in outer space to experience it at least once. Okay, and then next is light meal. This is specifically not like light and, oh man, English is weird. Anyway, it's talking about the luminosity light. Yep, there it is. So the light meal was created. Okay, so the light meal was created when a gem migrated to the moon and appeared along the Lunarian society. Gemstones receive light energy from the sun through their body surfaces, so they do not have the habit of eating specific meals. If a gem is outdoors during the day, they can quickly obtain energy, and even if they are inside a building, light can reach them and they can automatically obtain energy. The gem can accumulate energy to a certain extent, and although their movements become slower during hibernation, they can get by using the energy they have stored. We asked Barbada, a food expert and research developer of light meals, to find out more details. Originally, my field of experience is agriculture for a large-scale festival celebrating the harmony of the Lunarians and the gems. Out of personal interest and curiosity, I set out to develop a new dish that would symbolize it. A friend of mine asked me if there was anything we could do with our food culture to help the gems adapt to our lifestyle more quickly. With the help of gems of the moon, the energy source doesn't have to be sunlight, and instead the surface of the body, it can also be used in the oral cavity. It was also found that energy can be absorbed by direct light hitting the food. The result showed that the flavor perception changes depending on the intensity, the type of light. Photo eating is the mechanism that emits light when placed in a gem's mouth or crushed between their upper and lower jaw. Therefore, it is desirable to have it in a solid form that breaks down easily in bite-sized pieces. The container is spewed into the air and dispersed, and is automatically returned to the factory for recycling. There are still very few flavors that gemstones can detect, but the most obvious one is sweetness, followed by spiciness. Sweets are easy to produce, and their appearance has an affinity with the gems, making it easy for the public to understand that we eat the same thing as the gems. This beautiful meal made for the gems has become popular among the Lunarians as a new and exciting taste. Yep. And so the next one is synthetic pearls. Yep. So it seems safe to say that you should definitely buy pearls as a souvenir from the moon. According to the interviews, pearls are the most popular and common among ornaments. Even though they are called pearls, they do not use living shellfish, but instead use complete synthetic technology to create the complex, exquisite, and beautiful natural texture. This is the answer by Tasla, the researcher who has established this advanced technology. The gentle color and luster of the pearls suits our soft skin. However, one of the main elements of virgin pearls is that's a word I've never seen before. Conchiolin. Is conchiolin. We have long been resistant to the protein. Some even have mental allergies. Interesting. Therefore, we found a substitute for conchiolin and attempted to create pearls without using protein. The path to creating pearl was not a smooth one, which are completely indistinguishable from natural ones. However, the most difficult part was actually getting everyone to understand it. Even though we were able to make perfectly beautiful pearls, they had a hard time finding a use for them. I consulted a fashion designer through a friend, and they decided to incorporate it into clothing, and it exploded in popularity. Thanks to this, we are able to continue stable production as we are now. Size and shape can be designed. However, during the production stage, fluctuations occur and the product collapses. Otherwise, the unique, delicate taste will be lost. Its smooth texture is used for a variety of purposes. It is still difficult to make large, true spherical pearls, and pearls the size of our eyeballs that are unmolded and true spherical can only be produced once a year. The product is currently fully booked for 1,000 years in advance. The involvement of the Admirabilis, page 108, a mollusk that can produce pearls, is unknown. On the other hand, the Lunarians also have technology that allows them to synthesize gems without collecting gems that seem natural. There were no interviews that mentioned gem synthesis. So, it's going to talk about this later, but it's interesting how important pearls are, and it's interesting that Foss got one of those pearl-sized eyeballs. that they value so highly. So fashion culture. People in the city enjoy their favorite fashions. Regarding citizens' fashion, we received interviews from Rigi, a designer of one of the popular brands, Lustrous Rigi. After serving as a creative director of the famous Planned Moon brand, Rigi took his own name and launched a brand. Feeling relaxed is extremely important to ordinary people. We want everyone to be happy as possible in their best moments. This brand was launched with the hope of helping them do that. That's why we are particular about the feel of our products. Pastel colors have always been a trend. Most popular color is, of course, white. Our skin emits pale, iridescent colors, so muddy colors don't go well with it, which dark colors show through. It makes us look beautiful. It's very difficult. You can change the color of all your clothes depending on your mood that day. This shirt can be pink today and blue tomorrow. In the early days of the city, all the clothing brands worked together. It's a technique I developed at that time. I was really desperate, but looking back, there were a lot of fun things I did. All items can be repaired, even if you take a turn at the highest point of the skating rink and get sprayed. Your hoodie is torn to shreds and your sneakers are blown off. All your clothes will automatically be returned to the brand and reshape it and return it to the owner the next day. In our case, it hasn't been used for a year. Clothes return to the studio from the closet without permission. Of course, you can still return the old design. I'll secretly fix it a bit though. Fully recycling is a given. Fully recycling is a given in this city. And here is that page. All right. So the next one is gem clothes. I really liked reading these sections when I translated them. One of our cultural aspects of the Lunarians are the most interested in is fashion. The appearance of gems who migrated to the moon and dressed in the new clothes shocked the citizens of the moon. It seems we received an interview from Kima, the creative director of Mason Sturantia, who was in charge of the gems' clothes. When I heard that I would be in charge of the clothes of the gems, I was really surprised, and I couldn't believe that such an exciting thing could happen. The gems all had unique and shining hair colors, and their faces were very small. They are slender and have very long legs with a uniform style. I couldn't ask for anything better than this. Due to its nature, it was required to be able to suppress the scattering of gems fragments at the beginning of the war, and to be easy to recover. I set out to limit exposure as much as possible. The overall theme was new life. I wanted to present a new form of gems that has been reborn on the moon. So now I was going to go over all the different designs on the page. So that's here. So so that's this one, is False Lights design. I've changed it 3 times, and this one is my favorite because they are the most unique gem. We valued simplicity. Since the arms are made of alloy and contract, we devised a way to allow them to move as freely as possible. However, recently the alloy has come out of the back and caused punctures. That's wonderful. Yeah. So it's interesting to note that Possible Flight's outfit has changed 3 times because I saw a post a bit ago that someone was like, why don't I see a lot of fan art of this Foss design or something? I think this one is the second one that Foss wears. So it's just interesting that some people didn't even notice the change in design. I think that this one has longer sleeves than the original one, and the tie is further up. The first design that we see Moonfoss in is the tie is further down and more at their underbust area, and then the sleeves are shorter. But it's still the same silhouette. But yeah, we love the Moon Gym outfits. All right, next is Paparacha. B is from Paparacha. Their distinctive feature is, of course, the parts that are filled with the holes in their body. It's a good design by showing that part you can easily feel Paparacha's life, right? As for the splatter, did I miss it? The pattern is of the tights matched their cavities. So the pattern on the tights was supposed to match their chest. C, right here. I really like Yellow's outfit. I feel like so this one's Yellow's. I feel like out of all the moon outfits, Yellow's is the one I would most wear. I don't know, it's cool, man. I love all the moon outfits, they're great. C is designed for Yellow Diamond. The oldest one is charming and the most graceful. I tried to emphasize calmness and elegance more than other gems by using all the treasured large pearls that I have worked hard to collect. Could you observe it from there? It looked Cooper. I'm assuming that's like someone's name. It looked great on Yellow, didn't it? Yeah. So here's the gem clothes, the lovely gem clothes. Next page goes over more of them. So gem clothes 2. Kimi's interview continues. So D is Diamond's costume, so this one, obviously. Originally, all of their clothes were made by me. Diamond is the best idol of all time, did you know? So I think I know them well. The dreamy ribbon, the three-dimensional shape, and the ferocious skirt represents their combination of delicacy and anguish, or aggressiveness. There is also a special gimmick. Look forward to it. E is Alexandrite. They always try not to transform by wearing sunglasses. It's iconic and cool. Their hair is great too. The Dada noodles Alexi makes are the best. I go with everyone from Mason on a weekly basis. There are many fans who like the craftsman-like atmosphere. In order to not ruin the image, I chose a bold but simple long chiffon skirt. You should definitely order the gyoza too. F is this one. F is Benetoite's costume. The other gems have charisma and personality, and every time I talk to them, they are truly a different species. But Benetoite is surprisingly approachable and makes me feel at ease. I went a little away from the tight look of other gym outfits and instead chose an oversized, slightly relaxed look that doesn't reveal the contours of their body. It's so cute. I think they liked it too. In fact, I think they were relieved that they weren't wearing some sexy costume. Next time, why not try a more aggressive design? Oh my god, it's so cute, and that I want to play with it. In fact, there are costumes designs for Amethyst and Goshenite, and this time they didn't go to the ground, to Earth, so it didn't happen. I would be happy if I had a chance to see it someday. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for listening. With love from the moon, Kima. Man, I'm not sure if, I guess maybe Ichikawa designed ones for Amethyst and Goshen, but didn't, where are they? I want them. I know that they never wear them, but I love all the creativity of the moon outfits, so I would love to see more. I don't care if canonically Amethyst and Goshen don't go to the Earth. I want to see them. Anyway, it's interesting that they had clothes too. So next is the princess clothes, obviously for Karen Gorm. Oh, did I show this page? Well, here. So here's Daya and Alexandrite and Beneteau. Alright, here, I'll do this in case I forget. Here's the princess clothes for Karen Gorm, or Welligot, or Ghost, if you go that far back. Alright. So, among the gems who moved to the moon, there are those who are more suited to lunar society than those on Earth. Karen Gorm becomes the official partner of the Lunarian representative and is affectionately known as Princess. Fortunately, the designer in charge of their costumes had an interview. Quinetta is the founder of Mason Stronica. They are a legendary designer who is Kima's mentor. And just to let you know, I attempted to switch out the pronouns to more gender neutral for this one, but it just sounded so off in English. So in this translation, they use feminine pronouns, but I just did that just because it sounded less awkward. And anyway, it's not an official translation, so it can always be come back and fixed, but for now, that's just how it is in how it's written. So here is the quote from what was their name again? Quinetta. Yeah, this is all a quote from Quinetta. I've been feeling down for a while. That's the only reason I haven't been working. But she's a healthy princess, and she thought she might be able to do something new. The theme is packing materials. It used to mean enveloping someone important, but now it has become an important presence not only for the boss but also for the public. Hey, even if it's important, it doesn't have to be wrapped up. The princess's skin is the coolest, so she should show it off as much as possible or wrap it in a sheer material so she always looks amazing. The child's natural demeanor gives us great peace of mind. I don't know what the boss thinks. Shoes are platforms, they're also part of a heavy package. It's easier for and safer to walk than stiletto heels, but there's a height difference between Karen Gorm and the boss. It is also to fill the gaps. It's easier to talk outside. One day I needed a bag, so I asked what to put in it, and he said light, or I didn't change the pronoun there, and she said light chocolates to hand out to everyone. I made a small bag, but it will become ridiculously big soon. The dress I made before the wedding with a veil and raised ears was a prototype for a festival dress. It was decorated with 300 large pearls. I never thought it would make it to Earth. I saw it and it was good. The princess always wears whatever clothes look appropriate. She seems to be looking forward to it. It makes me wonder, she kind of reminds me of when I first became a designer. It's a rewarding job. So here is Karen Gorm's outfits, and you notice, and this is the one with all the pearls, that they went to Earth too. Alright. Celebratory Dress. So this is obviously, yeah. Alright, okay, Quinetta, whatever her name is, their name is, we don't know their gender, was also in charge of the princess's festival dress, continuing with their interview. After deciding to make a festival dress, I did a lot of research. It seems to have been an ancient festival to celebrate the final union of lovers. I wonder if they did that all the time in ancient times. I was surprised to have no free time, but maybe it is a good to have some leeway. The idea of a giant veil was the first thing that came to mind. Isn't it beautiful when it covers the sky above the venue? For that reason, I asked them to develop a fabric that was thin and light as thin and as light as possible, so that it would not be a burden on the princess. This is made up of 3 layers and tied together with a ring of 150 large pearls. This is purity. It's the embodiment it's the embodiment of sexuality. Gems don't get dirty, right? The raised eared veil was on the prototype. Well, it's an image that conveys our wish that the gem will become one of our friends. It was also useful for fixing the pearl ring that went through the veil. Platform shoes with 300 pearls and extra large pearls have a lot of volume, which is surprising, right? Delicacy alone is boring, but it matches the cuteness of the princess. The princess looks really good in a simple bodysuit. She seems to like it herself. She did it to balance out the veil. A long time ago, she heard about a tragic being called Sebo. No one knows exactly who they are or what their origins are, but for some reason, I always remember that when I look at the princess. That's strange. That's why I kept this in mind when I made the festival dress. It's a warm and intentional. Uh, it's a warm and intentional, but it's just a personal imagination that I can't put into words. So I tried to figure out who this Sebo was, the tragic being. It's right there, yeah. And I tried to look it up. I don't know if it relates to actual anything, because I feel like it is interesting that they relate it to Karen Gorm. So I was like, oh, is this some more lore that we can dig up that is like part of their inspiration? But I don't know. If any of you know in the comments if that relates to anything or if it's just a throwaway line, that'd be great. Another thing that's really whack. I don't know what the right word to say this. Is that this tells us that marriage is not in Lunarian society at all, which kind of makes Acmea's desire to get married to Karen Gorm even suskier. or like I don't like that. Like in the sense that um sorry, I forgot his name all of a sudden. In the sense that Acmea literally brought back marriage in order to marry Karen Gorm, and it's just a little weird. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say about it. But it's just interesting that to us, when Acme is like, "Oh, let's get married in the story" or whatever, like we're like, "Okay, that's still a somewhat normal thing to us," but actually, it's not even a thing in Lunarian or Gem society to get married. So um, that's interesting. Which means Karen Gorm absolutely had no idea what it is or what it symbolized or what it meant. Anyway, on to uh, cultural and sports facilities. What is distinctive about the private facility area is the large number of entertainment facilities. Our projected population in terms of numbers and types from the size of the city disclosed, estimated to be a minimum of 300,000 up to 2 million people. Among sports facilities, there are 582 concert halls. Oh, I never went back to check this. 245 concert halls, or maybe something different. 337 general entertainment facilities and 331 art museums, which seems like a lot, even for those of us who pride ourselves on our high level of culture. A popular sport, the moon is skateboarding. The correct way to play is the soar gracefully through the air, fall from the highest point, complete competing to see who can strike the most unique poses, get slammed onto the floor of the park, and get scolded by the facility staff. It is like the melting house. The layout of the park changes daily. Also, recently a civilian with a transparent hair appeared, and there was a lot of talk about them falling right after performing a high difficult move and causing some specular damage. Please refer to the attached witness testimony. When I decided to fall and hit the park floor, sparkling debris flew up, and it was so beautiful that I couldn't help but stare at it in a daze. Then someone yelled, "Gems!" And everyone was so excited uh, or panicked. I remembered the collected gem pieces I remembered and collected gem pieces. It ended up taking a day. The next day, the gem appeared again, and I got a signature. In addition, there are various other facilities, such as sports facilities, as soccer and baseball, bowling, pools, hot springs, gardens, and recreation facilities. Any moon person can use it. However, there is a strict usage time limit, and if the usage time is exceeded, it will be forcefully dispersed and returned to the facility entrance. Due to the melting nature of the cities, large night operations are prohibited to prevent citizens from getting lost. Um, Here's the fish. I love that they mentioned Goshen without mentioning Goshen, but okay, like Goshen is like the least controversial gem. I think I said this in another video, but New Goshenite. Sorry, there's a difference. But New Goshenite is like the most chill gem. He went to the moon, or they went to the moon. They made some friends. They stayed with their friends. Very simple, unlike the trauma that pursued all the other characters. And I find it interesting that all the Lunarians like them as well. It's if we just look at the story from New Goshenite's perspective, it's all right. All right, this one's interesting. I didn't translate this page because this was already on the wiki. It's interesting. Okay. Amusement park eye opener. Among the numerous leisure facilities on the moon, the most popular spot is the amusement park eye opener. Here, too, the layout of the rides changes daily. The roller coaster, of course, is automatically generated, and it is uh, said that it is unpredictable even by the designer. Many people enjoy the thrill of being dropped at a high speed. Another icon is the giant tank. The rotation speed changes according to the randomness of the central eyeball. Lightweight Lunarians are blown away and caught by one another with the traction of clouds floating around the car. This chance of romantic encounters is one of the reasons why it's so popular. The interview was obtained from Bunatan, the manager's mascot character. It's Bunatan. This is an amusement park with 1,657 attractions. The chain that change every day. From popular roller coaster Cloud and Air and the Ferris wheel Land Go Round, perfect for a new encounters and horror house plasma experience. For fantastic and powerful talent shows times. We have prepared entertainment that you will never get tired of, even if you come forever. As a recent topic, the number of visitors reached a record high. Sorry. As a recent topic, the number of visitors reached a record high after he that's highlighted and his, or they and their gem friends visited the park. Seemed to enjoy themselves. Maybe that's Karen form. It gave me a lot of confidence to say that for the time being, it has an entertainment quality that can be used by other people as well. However, on the other hand, there are hundreds of gems between us, and as a manager, it was very frustrating that multiple people could use it, but it was limited. Therefore, in the future, I would like to focus on universal design that can be used by both Lunarians and gems. We look forward to welcoming you from outside the universe. Interesting. Oh, okay. Natural ecology is the next one. Alrighty. So here's this page. I just love how detailed the strokes are for each of the pages. Like, the artwork's so good, and it shows Ichikawa's use of positive and negative space, like, again. Alright. Natural ecology. Lunarians have a strong interest in other living things. The most popular companion organisms are plants. Here's an interview from the person in charge of Taon Heru Botanical Garden. Actually, original plants, such as those found on the ground Earth, are not substantial for permanent display. In the main building, the life cycle from germination to growth, flowering, withering, and budding can be seen in any period of time to be enjoyed repeatedly. Cultivating a plant, of course, you can also keep it in its blooming state. However, there are quite a few people who find the withered state to be more flavorful. You can divide it according to your preference. It is said that once upon a time there were a greater variety of plants on Earth than there are today. We are researching them, recreating them We are researching them, recreating them for ornamental purposes, the reconstruction and reconstructing them as garden species. We had a customer who arrived after closing time and packed up a bunch of bananas the next day in the state of dispersion. Please give yourself plenty of time to enjoy the experience. According to the documents, there are plans to build an aquarium with a similar purpose, but there is no mention of what species will be kept there. What is worrisome is that even though there is a wide variety of facilities, there are no museums related to history, which is a standard among standard facilities. It is assumed that the Lunarian Society has an incredibly long history, but it is because the characteristics of the city where no objects remain. It is impossible to collect exhibits, or it is because the Lunarians have a mentality that does not make them weak in preserving things. It was not possible to infer that from the interviews why historical facilities did not exist. Also, there is no facility to display the vast amounts of gems collected. It is possible that this place once existed but was abolished in consideration for the immigration of gems. Interesting. Or it's because all of the gem remains were dust on the moon. They don't know that, so I don't know. What I had something else I thought of. I think it's interesting that they talk about like using plants as a decoration and how like there's so many states of plants of like budding, growth, and then wilting and stuff like that. It's interesting how long like the Lunarians have been alive. Like a plant must go from like alive to like wilted to dead and like so quickly to them, even though for us it takes a long time. Although I guess it depends on the plant, because some like trees can live for a long time. But it's interesting for sure. All right, hotel. This hotel was built. Yeah, here's the hotel. Did I show this one? I did. Yeah. Okay. This hotel was built as a place for gems who migrated to the moon. We received an interview from LOTL, an architect who also led the design. I remember that day very well. I was on my morning walk because my favorite cafe had been regenerated a little far away. I got a direct call from my boss saying they needed accommodation for the gems who were moving to the moon. That who were moving to the moon. I suddenly saw a. Sorry, I skipped a line because okay. Sorry, I got a direct call from my boss saying they needed accommodation for the gems who were moving to the moon. Uh, that love was said. I think they were saying that they loved that idea or loved that they were part of it. I suddenly saw a tall building that could be seen from anywhere in the city. High-rise buildings have been prohibited in the city for a long time, but they were allowed to do so because of the ease of security. I was so happy. Surprisingly, a piece of land with perfect conditions had already been arranged. Architecture can be completed in 5 hours, but design doesn't work that way. But at the time, most of the ideas were completed perfectly. While I was walking back and forth from the cafe, maybe that's why I made the mistake of ordering a blend at the store. It can't be bitter. Or I can't be bitter. 9 gemstones have immigrated at this time, but I hope that many more will come in the future. That's why we prepared 256 rooms. We also ordered ecological data on gemstones and revised the initial concept. Because the energy source of the gemstone is light, we created an atrium from the 80th floor to the first floor lobby and made the sparkling water flow down the walls. We reconstructed the image of sunlight shining down on the ground. We also designed the ground environment so that the gems could relax and spend time. I tried to recreate the fake sunrises and sets over the lobby pool. We also created a garden on each floor by ordering plants similar to those around the ground from Le Botanical Garden. I heard that the gems live together in one building, so in order to alleviate the feeling of loneliness, 256 rooms are open to the atrium. And the spaces are separated only with the waterfall curtains. So you can always feel the presence of your friends. I made it possible to do so. I hope they like it. So that's that one. And then next is the Princess Guard. Now, for the sake of less pronoun usage, I named the dog Chief. We had a discussion about that in the Discord server about if this is Shiro or not. I don't think it is, because I'm pretty sure Shiro never returned to the moon, the one that Congo said. The English translation, I'm way too nerdy for this, man. Let me go grab the book. So I don't have the Japanese one with me, but at the end of volume 12. Oh, where is it? At the end of volume 12, Karen Gorm this is Karen Gorm, right? Yeah, Karen Gorm calls them Shido. Shiro remembers your Congo, but in the original Japanese, the name Shido isn't mentioned. Karen Gorm just says, "Do you remember them?" Or do you remember Congo? But doesn't say the name Shido. I think it could still be Shido, but I don't think it is. Let me know in the comments what you think. But Karen Gorm saying, "Do you remember?" Karen Gorm also wouldn't know Shido's name because, of course, only Foss heard Congo say it Shiro, unless other people told Karen Gorm that their name was Shido. So I don't know. But I'll leave it up to you if you think that this is the same Shido dog Lunarian or if it's a different one. I just thought that it was interesting, not sure. But yeah. So the document describes the figure as chief of the Princess Security. This pup is about 20 centimeters long. A creature resembling a dog is always with the princess, Chief Security Officer. This interview from Bay. They are very clever. They don't leave the princess's side except when eating and sleeping. Lately, Chief has been catching the ball when the princess throws it and learned how to use their paws and sit. Chief is also good at swimming. Brushing in the morning and evening is essential to maintain the fluffy coat. I use carefully scented silk oil. I go out with the princess every day, so I would like to give Chief a bath once every 2 days. But I think it's saying that Chief goes out with the princess every day. I would like to give Chief a bath once every 2 days, but they don't like it. So I do it once a week. They run around the living room full of bubbles, so it's very difficult to catch them. My favorite toy is the star ball, but Chief's favorite toy is the princess's shoes. I like to see them play. Quinetta, who can't bear to see that, went out of their way to make dummy shoes for Chief, but they get in trouble because Chief takes the real ones out of the cloak room without even looking at me. Chief's favorite snack is the cookies and the princess and I make. Chief's favorite snack is the cookies that the princess and I make. They especially like the cheese flavored, followed by the milk flavored. Chief reluctantly eats the spinach flavored ones. Normally they just sleep, but I hear they are very agile and brave when they sense danger. I would like to see them once like that too. According to our records, a life form with similar energy shape is Y. Just Y. No. Y-3579203181277. Or I think it's saying, oh yeah, according to our records, a life form with similar energy was found on Earth because that's the Earth number. It was faintly observed during the war. Also, it its appearance is very similar to the stuffed animal, page 48, distributed in the gems rooms. Their relationship is under investigation. So it's talking about you watched the gem video. Oh yeah, there it is. You know, the stuffed animal that they have on Earth for the puppers in the gem quarters. Alrighty. So 6 moons. So this is the 6 moons. Oh, I'm not sure if I showed the dog. Well enough. Here's the doggo. Here's the 6 moons. Yep. So 6 moons. During the 510th observation period, an unpredicted phenomenon occurred in which gemstones moved back and forth between satellites. As a result, tracing the faint traces of fatigue, the large satellites of Earth, it is most likely that Earth A is the one where the lunar city is located. The gems usually rest on Earth, although it's possible to observe the tails of the robes. Special techniques have been used to block observation information for all 6 satellites, and their orbits are unclear. So the only information that can be obtained is the outer spaces of the satellites, which are far apart as shown in the diagram. It is also possible that the route and the satellites itself are camouflaged. So it is not certain. The interviews sent this month were mainly about cultural and lifestyle, and there was also no information about politics or the military. Also, the reason for collecting gems after many years has not been revealed. Due to their highly civilized lifestyle, it is unlikely that they are collecting gems for the purpose of gathering natural resources, or natural mineral resources, as they call it. Also, based on the smart, unique, and free responses of various Lunarians, it is hard to imagine that there is a belief associated with cruelty that is often seen in primitive societies. I don't see any statements that have that. I feel that their attitude towards other race is unequal. It is also unnatural that there is no mention of Congo, and as we know, they should also be aware that Congo is not a mineral life form. Also, the description of one's own history is unnatural and few. We received an invitation from the restaurant Licore, and amusement park eye opener within the official response. I have that one day. I hope that one day I will have the opportunity to ask these questions directly to a complex and unique Lunarian while staying in a hotel bathed in glowing waterfalls and surrounded by beautiful gem life forms. So they're just basically this is just saying like here's all these things that we couldn't gather, like stuff that we would probably want more information on. So it's interesting that like Ichikawa wrote this obviously, but like Ichikawa is limiting our perspective of the story and only giving us this, which we can gather a few things from how the Lunarians are described in this book. Mainly with the fact that they like we know the answers to some of the things that the third party doesn't understand. But like the fact that they like don't keep a natural history, it's really interesting because the gems don't keep a natural history either. It's just shows that they are unwilling to look back at the past for the gems and the Lunarians, and it's very interesting. So next is the Amaryllis and the ice flows, and I'll go over that in the next video. I guess my final comment on just the fact that the Lunarians don't look back on their history is just that it's supposed to be very contrasting to Thoth in the end. Spoilers, but if you're watching this, you should know that. Anyway, but at the end, when Foss is basically looking at all the history that the Lunarians have shoveled down and don't want to look at, being forced to replay the history of humanity, and meanwhile the Lunarians distract themselves and uh, try to not think of their history as much as possible. And so it shows that contrast between Foss and the Lunarians at the end, but it also shows a contrast between all the characters not caring about the history and what has happened previously, especially with just how they forget some things and stuff like that. So very interesting. The next video will go over the last parts of the book. Thank you for staying with me with this very long video. I appreciate it. And let me know what you think down below. Give me your thoughts and stuff like that. If you want to see more videos or get the next part of the series, please subscribe. You don't have to. Anyway, bye. Thank you.